We want people coming after our jobs and to be going and finding their next greatest thing. And it's my job to help them get there. So if you talk to all the people that have worked for me in the past, I think that they would say that the attention that I put on helping people develop themselves and develop their skills has led them to greater career success. And the only way that I was able to know to do this is because the leaders that I had instilled the same things into me and showed me how important that was.
Welcome to Future Fuzz, the digital marketing podcast.
All right, welcome into Future Fuzz, the digital marketing podcast. I'm Vince Quinn, and today we're talking about building marketing departments from the ground up. And joining us for this conversation is Heidi Howell. She is the Director of Marketing at Core Medical Group. Heidi, welcome to Future Fuzz.
Yes, thanks for having me, Vince. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so first, just give people a little bit of background about Core Medical Group and what you do there.
So Core Medical Group is a healthcare staffing company. We've been around for about 27 years. I'm brand new. I've been here about 4 months. I'm the new director of marketing. However, I have been in the staffing industry for the last 13 years.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's totally appropriate that you're brand new at this job, right? Like it's, as we talk about building from the ground up, but also just talk a little bit, like when it comes to marketing in staffing, generally speaking, a new discipline, if you will. Like how has that evolved over the years?
Yes, absolutely. So marketing for staffing companies and within staffing companies is kind of new. When I began my career a few years ago, back in 2012, there really weren't marketing departments within staffing agencies. My staffing company did have a marketing department. That's where I started. It was a small firm in Florida, but we had 3 other brands. So that's kind of how I ended up in staffing. It was more so for marketing the other brands, but we also had a staffing company. The marketing trajectory has changed. So many firms are now seeing the value in needing a marketing person and a marketing department within staffing for B2B and also for B2C. So we have today, many staffing agencies focus on trying to attract new clients. So places where we're going to put talent. So for us, that's healthcare providers, healthcare systems, hospitals, outpatient clinics, those sort of things. But also the B2C component is trying to attract new candidates to work at these facilities. So it's really a 2-pronged approach where you need marketing for both new clients, so you have places to put your clinicians to work, and then for the clinicians.
Yeah, and doing all of this from the ground up, I'm sure it's just easy as pie, Heidi. It's a total walk in the park, an effortless procedure. How do you, just from that aspect alone, which always fascinates me of people in these spaces where they have B2B and B2C components of how do you even begin to prioritize this process of, all right, I'm building this marketing department from the ground up and I have both of these arms to consider?
Yes, absolutely. It's a challenge, but that's why I love it. I joined marketing in general. I fell in love with it when I started my career way back when I was 12 years old, working at a place called the Ogunquit Playhouse. It's an off-Broadway theater in Ogunquit, Maine. That's where I started doing marketing and where I fell in love with it because it's never the same day twice. So when you look at marketing within staffing companies, that couldn't be more true either. It's never the same day twice, and things change rapidly by the hour sometimes. It depends on if you're looking for new clients or clinicians, or there's this new thing that's happening within the market. What's happening in the stock market today? All of those things change how you're going to go about marketing. So it's great to have a plan in place, but know that your plan is going to change sometimes by the hour, but definitely day to day. And it isn't easy to start these marketing departments and to balance the B2B and B2C side, as well as your internal staff and your team. But that's why I love it. I love a challenge. I love not being bored. I love constantly being busy. It's just provides me with invigoration and energy, and I really look forward to coming to work every day.
Yeah, it was like that for me when I was doing radio, because it was like you never knew what things you were going to be talking about. Something could happen literally while you're in the middle of the show that takes over the entire show. And whatever you planned out for hours in advance is gone, and now you're just living in the moment and you're getting updates in real time. And to live and breathe in that environment can be really exciting. But at the same time, you have to have some level of like, okay, these are my principles or processes or those grounding things, right? Like how do you keep yourself grounded then? Like what is your foundation that you have as all this like, chaos is swirling around you? What are you grounded on?
Yes, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, you have to know who you are, not only as a person, but as a marketer. Those are two very important things. And if you know both of those things about yourself, the chaos can come flying at you, but you know how to manage it. So you know how you can go about your day. Like, okay, I know that I need to have a list. I need to plan to accomplish these three things today. If all the chaos comes swirling, if I stay focused on these three things, that will be okay. And if for some reason there's just too much chaos to not focus on those three things on your list, if you know, okay, well, I just need to make sure that I stay calm, that I have access to a full fat Coke if things get really wild, I have that as my backup plan and that will ground me. And then whatever little thing you can do, if that's reading an inspirational quote from someone or going for a quick walk to recenter your mind, just knowing those few things that you can do to find that balance in your brain for yourself, it will help bring you back.
Yeah. Okay. First off, love a walk in the middle of the day. Very big on. I've been doing so many walks recently. It's like because I baked into my calendar. I was like, okay, I'm having so many conversations, doing all this work. I need some stability and consistency. Here's my break hour. I'm sticking to it. I'm going for walks during that hour. Like it's such a relief to come back and just be like, okay, I actually turned my brain off. I wasn't just like eating lunch while thinking about a problem obsessively. And now let me come back to this thing with a fresh approach, new energy, and go and build. Like that separation is absolutely huge. But going back a little bit too on the aspect of knowing yourself, because I feel like that's really, I would expect to be one of the biggest challenges in the sense that if you are presented with all these things and you're building in an early stage, it's going to be easy to get sucked into things and go down these rabbit holes that you're not built for. And to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to set these boundaries of like how I'm approaching these problems and how much I'm dealing with them because of that knowledge. I feel like, I mean, what an advantage to have a sort of like, I guess, is it hard for you? It sounds like it's easy for you to do that at this point, but what has it been like to get to that stage, to have that comfort, to know yourself like that?
Sure. So I would say that I've had a lot of personal growth just within the past year. So it's been something that I've been working on, and I actually hired a life coach to help me get to this point where I am. But I feel like that was a great investment, not only for me personally, but for me professionally as well, so that I really understand where I am as a person and what my grounding techniques are. And like I mentioned, it's the walking, it's the quote, it's the learning late at night and the reading. That's what grounds me, but also knowing that in your career, and you have to stick to your strategies. If you have, not every marketing department is the same, but you're going to use the same principles in some way or another. So if you know what your marketing playbook looks like for yourself and how you are in your career, then you can just bring that to where you're going and adapt that to fit the situation. But you need that solid foundation to get to that point. And I have 2 decades of experience in building that. So for me, it's easier now than it was when I had to start building this toolbox for myself over the last couple of decades.
Yeah, I mean, refinement is everything, experimentation, like all of those things coming together. But it makes so much sense naturally of, hey, I know myself and my role and what this system is and how I run that system. So from that like team building aspect, I also know what I need around me, what kinds of pieces and people and all those kinds of things. So when you're considering that, then, I mean, I guess you have an idea of like, okay, does it change like what you're going to hire first, for example? Like, because obviously these places might be different. What does that look like for you as you build a new team?
Sure, that's a great question. Especially now at Core Medical Group. So I'm about 4 months in, as we discussed, and I was lucky that we have a team in place here. That hasn't always been the case. As we've mentioned earlier, I have built marketing departments from the ground up for basically my entire career. So finding the right hire is hard, but knowing who to hire first when you have a huge responsibility is also something that takes some time to work out. For me, since I already had a team, it's just figuring out how to best utilize the people that we have to really make their skill set shine through and to help the organization get to where it needs to go. And one of those first key elements is really a strong marketing manager or project manager, whether that's internally or we look externally to an agency partner, which I'm fortunate that I've had the same agency for quite a few years that I rely on for this. So having that one strong person, whoever it is, to be in there with you side by side every day, helping you organize all the things that you have to do is key.
Okay, so that makes sense. You've got a good number two that can manage some things and take stuff off your plate as you continue to build, and they've got that overview. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And I would guess then, because naturally one of the things that I think about in a situation like this, it's new situations, new teams, you have to bring people in. So you have to train these people. And you're doing that. And in this case, like, you're going to be looking at B2B and B2C environment. And so like it's a lot for training. So I would love to talk a little bit about your like philosophy and approach. Let's say number one, because you mentioned a little bit what you're looking for when you hire people, but how do you prioritize or balance training as you're building and managing?
Yes, absolutely. So first, I want to take a step back when I come in. And like I said, I'm fortunate that we had a great team already in place here at Core Medical Group.
Mhm.
So we have a great team of about 4 people internally who were already here before I joined. And for me, what was important was really figuring out what drives these people, where they feel like they have the most to offer, and how that ties in with not only marketing's goals, but the organization's goals. So first, we spend a couple months really helping everyone kind of learn themselves and me to learn them, and helping them plug in their knowledge and their skill sets with the organization so that we can figure out how to best work together and as a team for the business. And in my specific role, so marketing at Core Medical Group in the past has been very candidate focused, and it was kind of reactive. I'm not a reactive marketer. I'm a revenue generating marketer. So this is a big shift for the organization and for people on my team. So it's a new mindset, and they do have to learn and have some new training and knowledge. So I'm here to provide them with my experience and my expertise over my 2 decades of doing this. But also, I try to develop training programs for them, and we do learning and upskilling every Friday from 1 to 2 o'clock. It's on everyone's calendar. They're expected to be doing self-directed learning if we aren't having a team training. And we talk about, as we get to know ourselves, I have my notifications silenced. I don't
That's
know why
okay. Everybody's trying to join the show, Heidi. I get it. It's a popular show. We're getting a lot of attention. People want to come on. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry. So part of that getting to know yourself when you're on my marketing team is vital, and that's how we develop your training plan. So if you're going to be responsible for our project management and you think that you have great project management skills, well, we all have skills that we think are great, but we can always keep upskilling and refining. So I'm going to work with that person to be like, okay, I think these are the things that you should watch or go research on YouTube, and then come back and share with the group what you learned and how you're making changes to implement these new things. So it's a constant evolution, and we are constantly learning.
Future Fuzz is sponsored by SalesSource, B2B pipeline management and sales growth for your business.
Wow. So you will actually have people present what they've learned in these meetings, and then it's a full group discussion from there?
In our team meeting, we have team meetings every Tuesday. So everyone does their learning and upskilling on Friday. And on our team meeting on Tuesday, everybody has to come prepared with exactly what training they did, what their goal and intent of doing that training was, and what they learned and how they plan to implement that going forward.
I love that. Okay, you're an awesome boss. I'm just going to say for the record, you're an awesome boss. I love this approach to everything because it's one of those things that is really hard. I think at a lot of times, especially in busy environments, you'll get thrown in there and they just kind of think, oh, well, you'll figure it out over time just doing the job. And you're shaking your head no, which I love this. Like, absolutely not. Because exactly, like, that was the problem. For any work that I've ever done, it's always like, yeah, we'll just figure it out on the fly. But I would then instinctively on my own around just like bug people when I was, finishing a shift or getting in early or whatever, and just being like, can you please explain to me why this? Like, I need reason, I need background, I need philosophy, I need like deeper strategy, and the ability to do that allowed me to excel a lot faster than people that were the same age as me, because it was like I was actively studying it. And I feel like the advantages of that, not just for the individual, but for the organization, have to be pretty tremendous over time.
Absolutely. So I started my career at the age of 12, as I mentioned, and I was very fortunate to have an amazing first boss. Spoiler alert, she was my aunt. She was the marketing director at the Algonquin Playhouse. However, she did not treat me like her niece, and she was probably more tough on me than on other people who worked for her. And I really learned a lot about myself, about marketing, and about managing people. And she took the time to help me develop my skills, where I haven't had a boss who has done that, in all honesty, since then. So if I didn't have that great foundation, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't be able to instill this in people who work for me. So I don't believe in hierarchy. That's not how my teams work. We all work together. We're all one team. On paper, sure, I'm the boss and I'll act like the boss if I have to, but that's not my management style. I prefer to really be in the trenches working alongside my team every day. And my job is to help them be the best people and the best at their job that they can be. And I know from my experience, having that extra few minutes of this, we're doing this because this is the reason, or you should learn this because it will help you do this. Like having those extra tidbits really helps people accelerate in their growth journeys and into their own success.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing how that kind of stuff can pile up over time. And even where there's things where you might see something, understand it, it's a new concept, you go, okay, this is really interesting. Not sure what I'm going to quite do with this yet. But then 3 years later, something pops up and you're like, this is perfect for now. Like, I'm going to do this now. And so, yeah, I mean, it is so important. And like you said earlier at the beginning of this, right? It's like industry is always changing. The new trends are changing. The tools are changing. And so the skill sets that you need within the job, or how those things might evolve, like you do need to evolve constantly because everybody else is evolving constantly. It's a part of the game. And I think it's just in terms of habit building, like it's great that that's a regular habit that you've built into the team and the operation of it. I just love that.
Well, thank you, Vince. So I want to share two things. First is about recruitment marketing. So that's the B2C marketing. So back in 2012, there were nobody really doing recruitment marketing. Today, it's everywhere, not only for staffing companies, but your favorite brands of your favorite online retailers, they're all trying to recruit new talent, right? That wasn't a thing. I joined a Twitter chat back in 2012 with a lady named Stacy Zapar. She worked for Zappos at the time, I believe, and she started this tweet chat to get people interested in recruitment marketing. And my boss at the time, who was a phenomenal boss, wanted me to expand my skill sets. And she was like, oh, I need you to go work with the CHRO on attracting new clients. They call it recruitment marketing. I was like, I don't know anything about that. She goes, well, nobody does. It's brand new, so you can go figure it out. And she really set me up for success in the next chapter of my journey, because as we discussed, the evolution of marketing and staffing has come so far. So without her pushing me to do that, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. But because she did, I was one of the first recruitment marketers in the world, and I actually won an award for my recruitment marketing strategies by Marketing 2.0 a couple years ago.
Love to see it. All right. That's awesome. And like, what an exciting place to be, right? The market evolves. You're in the right place at the right time. You've got the energy and the passion for it. You go and adapt everything. You win awards. You've worked with multiple companies now successfully. Like the track record speaks for itself. And for all of that to be approached in like principles, but flexibility and constant education is something that's, I think adaptable for everybody, which is one of the important things here, right? Because obviously everybody, we all work different jobs with different specifications, but I think on some level to say, hey, it's important to educate your teams and understand your marketplace and be adaptive to that and support your people in doing that. Everybody can learn from that. So like, what would you say, for previous teams that you've worked with, for example, what does it look like then when it's operating at a high level? You're allowing this educational environment. What does that success turn into?
Sure. So I think the success that it turns into is really unparalleled and unmatched. And it's really hard to quantify that. And I love being able to give exact data and exact numbers. I hate when I can't do that. But if you just look at the people who have worked with me and their trajectory of their careers, like I'm never going to hold someone back. I know it's always this catch-22. Like, if they're so great, why are you trying to upskill them and try to help them because they're going to leave you? Well, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want people coming after our jobs and to be going and finding their next greatest thing. And it's my job to help them get there. So if you talk to all the people that have worked for me in the past, I think that they would say that the attention that I put on helping people develop themselves and develop their skills has led them to greater career success. And the only way that I was able to know to do this is because the leaders that I had instilled the same things into me and showed me how important that was.
Yeah. And in some level, I'm very much like a vibes and energy guy as much as I love data. It's like I'm always, I don't know, this like theoretical, spiritual kind of thing. And it is cool because you see when you put that kind of thing in motion, okay, somebody that you worked with, trained up, they get a new job, they go to another place. Turns out, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years from now, they've developed somebody that's a great fit for your current situation and they make that connection. Like by allowing other people to grow and be a part of that and maintain that relationship, that long-term value, like that community build that you get essentially because you've helped create this network and support these other businesses almost through the processes and education you give is really a beautiful thing. I mean, I've just seen it in different ways. Like when I was doing all the radio work to help different people, I would do air checks with them, like listen to their show and tell them how they were doing and how they could get better. And then what do you know? They're hosting at other stations and they know good connections for me and my business. And I don't know, it's just like all these things can come together in such a cool way. So I just really love the mindset that you've put to all of this. And it's been so much fun to dig into all of this with you. So thank you for sharing, Heidi. And for everybody that wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do it?
Sure. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm at Heidi Howell on LinkedIn, and I'd love to connect with anyone there.
Great. So make sure you say hi to Heidi on LinkedIn and say hi to me as well. I'm on LinkedIn too. Hi, look for Vince Quinn. I'll see you on there. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in and making the choice to listen to this podcast. If you liked what you've heard today, please don't forget to subscribe.